Sarah of the 50-50. What is your wisdom today? I made a more objective value rating. How are you, boo? I'm absolutely fantastic. A very important context. First two images are best value for casual and elitist respectively, and the last is worst. Weighted from release to 21st of December 2025. I don't think DPS can ever be worst value. You put a DPS knowing that they aren't future proof a lot. He's right, by the way. He is right. A support, sustained sub DPS are the ones considered the value for future teams as well as meta, right? Alright, let's see. Casual players, ding dong, rechat. Okay. Best value of all time is Sunday. Best value of version 1 is Runmei. And best value of version 3 is Hyacinth. Bro forgot that Sunday is from version 2 because it came out in 2.7, but you know what, it's all good. But that is gonna be for the casual players. First of all, if it's gonna be for the casual players, you can literally just swap these two out. Runmei is infinitely more valuable for a casual player, right? I'm not sure if you were there during HSR. I know everything that goes on in HSR's entire history. The most definitive upgrade for any casual players was with the Super Break patch, right? Because before Super Break, it was still tingling along the lines of mainly crit DPS hyper carry, a little bit of follow-up DPS here and there with the Tobet stuff with Babin, and then the rest of them are just pretty much going to be playing like homeless team like DOT. Okay, DOT is not that homeless, but you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, so like the point was HSR made version 2 a free, literal free ticket to the casuals and the free-to-plays by creating up Super Break for them. And everyone and their moms would have pulled for Runmei anyway, because she was literally the first ever Harmony that's going to be unlimited. And if you guys play enough turn-based games, we all know how Harmony works, right? So, for a unit that came out in 1.6, which everybody put before even knowing Super was a thing, she was already giving you a lot of value, right? In a sustainable team, even for the elitists, she was hella fucking good. And then when Super came out, she literally just became the most used, most owned unit in the entire world for all servers combined. It is definitively speaking going to be Runmei. And after Super went away, she can still be used for a lot of these teams, especially for casuals who don't want to care about vertical investment, right? Because Runmei is not really best in slot in, let's just say that she's not best in slot in Casters, right? You're going to run Tribbie, you're going to run Hyzen, you're going to run Evlight. She's not really best in slot in My Day, right? She's not really best in slot in like Dihera, but you can kind of still low-key use her. And because the thing is, casuals don't need the best slot, right? They guys want something to get it over and done with. And then if they really got Runmei, a unit that they put 2 years ago, and they can still be used, I think that is absolutely fucking insane value. So Runmei is going to be the rank 1, even for the casuals, right? Okay, anyways, Elitist version. Best value of all time, Babin, best value version 1, and best value version 3. Okay, I think Runmei is just like, it's just always going to be there. Babin in a version 2... for elitists that you mean like zero cycle, I can kind of see it, but it's very niche though, because even for like zero cyclers nowadays, a lot of them has this brand new unit called Mimi, right? And Mimi really like took the whole Babin being the so pure best in slot sustainers run out of the equation, because we can basically do her job better, and she works extremely well with like Cyrene. So to a certain extent, we have seen clears where people just run Mimi with Cyrene and they cost max, right? They cost max with Mimi for a zero cost unit, which actually really like Mimi is literally just a fucking 5-star, 6-star, 5.5-star even. So I would say if there's gonna be a Mimi, it will be there. But unfortunately, Mimi is not gonna be. You don't need to pull her because you're completely free. Probably I would say. I mean, there really isn't anyone else in version 2 that's that crazy, right? Sunday. Because Sunday can be used quite a lot in like sustainers run as well, even to this day. I will probably get E0 to E0. I'll probably get Sunday more. Because Babin at E0 is at this point of the day is a little bit homeless, right? So that is going to be there. Last lot, elitist and casual combined. Worst value of all time. Worst value version 1, worst value version 2, and worst value version 3 is Car. This bomb thing is being a DOT downgrade, face out side grade downgrade, and make Acheron slightly worse than Herda is good enough. Speed laugh. To be fair, Car is in a very awkward spot for a banner, right? Because a lot of like, hey, yo, Silver Shots, thank you so much for the 70
Car my goat.
Car my goat. It is, Car is in a very awkward spot because casuals wouldn't care about 0 cycles, and a lot of time you want to see car is usually and I'm gonna end up in 0 cycles, right? You want to use it with Archer, you want to use it with Facial, you want to use it with Aircraft. She appears a lot in 0 cycles, and then if you do, or not 0 cycles, it's sustainless runs. But casuals wouldn't care about it, and a lot of casuals, they don't get enticed enough to pull a unit that was so close into like the release of Evernight, as well as the Remembrance flagship upgrade. Is that the equivalent of telling somebody from like version 2, should you be pulling, I guess, Jade? Okay, I don't think Jade is a very good example, but like it's the closest one I can think of. Is that you probably wouldn't be pulling Jade. She's not a main DPS, but she's sort of like a support for like a support for like pure friction, right? For your average units, and then eventually she got used with her. But you also wouldn't really get that because like her banner timing is very awkward since like the flagships are very, very close to them, right? And on top of that, we had the fake collab, and then everybody of the casuals, they all pull for Saber, waifu. So I think that Car in this day and age right now, your account is fine without her, right? I don't think having her or not having her is gonna break your account, whatever. But whether or not she's gonna be able to see anything going forward in the future, that's gonna depend. Because one thing we know for a fact is that it's ever gonna be a skill point shield buff. And one thing we know for a fact is that Sparkle is gonna be, she's a skill point girl, right? And then if the next DPS is gonna be another like high skill point consumption unit with like a super big burst, whether or not Car can fit into that version 4 niche, it would depend entirely of how they want to cook it. So I think for version 3, any value for version 3, right, whether it's a worst value, best value, mid value, whatever it's going to be, it's very hard to tell because like, you have no timeline in the future to expect their performance for any of their new team cons or any of the archetypes, right? Version 2, version 1 is like in hindsight, it's very easy to see, right? So like version 3, I would say, I mean, if you were to ask me, what was my answer for version 3 again, chat? I think I mentioned this before, right? I think my answer for version 3 was wait, watch out. What is it again? What is it again? I think I agree with Sarah for Saber. Yeah. I think I agree with Sarah for Saber. But the main reason why I think bro didn't want to include a DPS is because bro, so basically bro just ignored all of DPS, right? Because all the DPS, they are pretty much never going to be as future-proof, so you don't really consider them for the future as much. So if there's no DPS involved in version 3, which honestly eliminates like what, more than half the roster, right? Because almost every single banner came out in version 3, they're all DPS. You are basically just left with Tribbie, Saridra, Car, Hyacinth. Right, it's literally just D4, right? Because DHPD is free. Nobody's putting on DHPD. It's E0 Teep. Chat. Is E0 Tribbie worse value than E0 Car? Okay, it's definitely not Saridra. Right? If you wanted to pull Saridra with a Final at E0, 100% value, right? This kind of niche supports is like, it's not even debatable, right? If you want to get her, you just get her. So Saridra, she's safe, right? Farina is safe. Hyacinth is pretty much a must, a necessity, almost for like pretty much your flagship. And her comfort for sustain is also just that nice for like a lot of other teams. So Hyacinth is also limited. So the only two people left is basically just E0 Tribbie and E0 Car. You get what I'm saying? I think it really depends on like what your team actually has. Because I think if you were to pull Car, the people that pull for Car, they are probably not really those that pulled her for version 3. Alright. Mostly it was like, do you use her in either the sustainers runs? Do you use her with the version 2, which is Aircron Facial, for the most part? Maybe you want to slot in like a silver with the reward and get them like, I don't know, like a sustainless DOT true damage taking or whatever the hell it's gonna be. But I think just lesser people need Car for version 3 compared to when Tribbie was launched, because her banner placement was before the flagship, right? So if you put E0 Tribbie back at when she first launched, you would have definitely gotten a lot of value when she started though. Like E0 or E1, right? E0 or E1. Nowadays, like we all knew how bastard the E1 was since long ago, but like you don't really feel the impact of the E0 and E1 comparison because we didn't really have that many like single target environments, right? And then this MOC and the upcoming MOC is gonna be like way more like single target. So those without E1 Tribbie are probably gonna feel it. Tribbie is a better Barbarian with no action value without DDD. Tribbie is homeless. Car is a good pull if you're going for near zero cycles only back then. Cyrene buffed Cipher so much. Okay, but like those people who pulled Cyrene, right? If you were to pull Cyrene, with the intention of like buffing Car, casuals ain't gonna run Sustainless anyways. Alright, so what you're ultimately gonna be left with either Cyrene, Car plus a DPS, and your last law is either DHPD or Hyacinth. There is no team that runs this setup. Like, there just isn't. There's no team that runs Car, DPS, Hyacinth or DHPD, and Cyrene. And that is considered like a better performing team. Because people that did pull for Cyrene mostly just pull for the Remembrance Flagship. They wouldn't pull Cyrene to upgrade their car. Because they pull their car to upgrade their version 2. And if they pull their car to upgrade their version 2, then why would they pull Cyrene to upgrade their car? Because Cyrene doesn't really work with version 2. Or at least like way lesser of a convert without the E2. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like a step-by-step process that what is the thought process of even those players pulling for a car in the first place? Right? Okay, as a content creator, I pull because like I want to get all those units, I want to test for myself. But like if I was Bob, right? And the reason why Bob skipped cars as well, right? Like if I was Bob, I wouldn't find a situation in which I would really care that much about E0 car. Because number one, I don't care about Sustainless. And number two, I don't really have teams that can actually use car in. Right? Especially with someone that has no concern with like version 2 teams. Right? I don't care about Aircon, I don't care about Facial. So if that's the case, even though Cypher's buff makes Car's defense sound really, really good, I don't really see a world in which I actively chase, 320 pulls? No, wait. Yeah, 320 pulls, potentially 320 pulls for these two units that might not even see play. You know what I'm saying? So that is my thought. But Car has infinite scaling with any DPS. Yeah, Car has infinite scaling with any DPS, assuming your DPS and the rest of the team actually deals enough damage though. Because the Patron stacking, you still need to stack fast enough. If you can't stack fast enough because the DPS doesn't have the crucial support, she's not even going to give you stacks in the first place, right? Of course, if we're talking about Elitists, they can make things work, right? Because removing that sustain slot will always make your DPS scale outwards, which is why Car has a lot of use in these kind of zero cycle scenarios. But like, the infinite scaling thing, it doesn't really make sense. Because by adding Car, but it reduces your overall damage output, you can't give Car enough patronage stacks to justify the true damage, alright? So, I mean, yes, Car... Yeah, Car is an Elitist unit. But even as an Elitist, Elitists don't need Car though. Because Elitists can make anything work, right? Elitists have never relied on Car to give them their zero cycles, right? It's always like RMC. Okay, honestly at this day and age, it's always RMC. But like, Elitists don't see a need to make her work unless they want to specifically make her work. It is more so those Elitists that already pull for whatever DPS is going to be. They will see what can actually make that happen. And the flip side is casuals. They just can't even make full use of Car, especially if they don't care about version 2. So, personally, I think E0 Tribbie for casual is just way better. And I think Elitists don't see any value for E0 Car. Because I just below, Elitists would have gotten the E1 Tribbie anyways. Right? Like, we're talking about both sides of the comparison, right? So, as crazy as this sounds, I am personally actually going to agree with this. Because there's only 4 units. It's Saridra, Car, Tribbie, and DHPD. Wait, Saridra, Car, Tribbie, and Hyacinth, right? It ain't Saridra, it ain't Hyacinth, it's just these 2. So that is gonna be my final verdict. DDD's power is just that much absolutely. Okay, you know what? This guy coached, so you know, should we rage bait? Should we rage bait? Should we rage bait this on Twitter? Because the last time Sarah rage baited, bro almost got 1 million views. War W. Okay, but like shit, like I really genuinely like after that thought process that I had out, I can see this having the worst value though. I legitimately can see this having the worst value. So it kind of let Sarah do it. Okay, you know what, Sarah, I task you to rage bait again, right? Very, very good though. Very, very nice. I agree with this. I genuinely do agree with this. Yep, very, very good. Very, very. You gotta put Lingsha in worst of all time. You have cooled your last cool, my man.